Alright, welcome to the tactical station. My name is Edward MacDonald. I am one of the assistant engineers to the chief engineer of Tex, who I'm sure you've got to know, or at least will soon. I've been asked to make these training videos for you. Now, I'm just cramming these in, so you've really got to just go with it. And then they're not going to be perfect. And if you have any questions, well, that's why we have a staffer and all the other decks of the ship to help you. You can always call engineering us. Or there should be an officer on the bridge who knows everything about these things. Now, you are sitting at tactical. Ooh, laddie or lassie, whoever you are. You really have an important station. You are holding lives in your hands, literally. Well, not literally. That would be strange if you looked at your hands and there were a lot of lives sitting there. But you've got the weapons of the ship, and they are not something to be taken lightly. You've really got to recognize that our very formidable and large weapons are something that must be very carefully handled. Now, first off, let's learn how to use them. Click on the center sphere at your station, and you'll give this access terminal button. Press it and click and type in your name. My name is now in there. That's it right there. Click OK, and then take your mouse and drag them to the top right of the corner of the screen, at which point you'll be given access to the tractor beams and weapons control. Click on tractor beams first. There's our ship. And you've got this wee thing over here. What is that? Is that a ship? No. It's just a little symbol, icon indicating that there is another object out there that is within your tractor beam radius. If there's not, and you think there should be, perhaps you're too far away. That's a mystery you're going to have to tackle using other stations or working with other officers on the bridge. First, to track to them, let's click on it. That brings us to this screen. This is the screen where you actually control the tractor beam. Click on the object again. When it's red, you'll know that you've targeted that object. Then you simply click Activate Tractor Beam. And there it is, a tractor beam. Now you may have been wondering this whole time, what in the Sam Hill is a tractor beam? Well, think of a tow rope in space. It's a very focused magnetic beam that attracts things, even things that aren't metallic. It's so strong and so focused, we're able to even hold things like that. And that beam, then we can haul things around, or we can pull them in close to us. Now, in order to actually do that, though, we need some strength in our wee weakling beam here that you see. Go down to the bottom where you see this little bar and click it and drag it up, and you see the percentage of strength going up with it. Alright, now we've got a fully powered and strong beam. And we can haul things around. You may be asking yourself, when would you not want to have 100%? Well, you see, as we haul this object over here, we're going to start putting stresses on it. And we might tear it apart if it's really weak. If it's just crumbly snow or like a comet or something. And you don't quite want to do that. Perhaps you turn the beam strength down so that the thing stops breaking apart. How do you know if it's breaking apart? Well, that's what the sensor's job is to tell you sort of things. Anyway, let's keep it up at 100%. What is this over here, this beam stress? Well, as we are pulling on an object, Isaac Newton back, 800 years ago told us that as you pull on something, it pulls back on you. That's called his third law. And so if we are pulling on something with a tractor beam, it's pulling on us. And we feel that pull in the beam stress right here. And so this is going to go up. The higher and higher that stress is. If you're really pulling a massive gargantuan piece of space junk out there, it's probably going to put a lot of stress on that tractor beam. And if that stress gets up to 100% for too long, you're going to blow the tractor beam emitter, and then that's a lot of work for me. So please don't do that. Please keep an eye on this. I'll be really angry down there. No one will hear my screams or cussing because I'll be working outside in space. But believe you me, I'm doing it. Anyway. That's the screen. Really, if you want to turn it off, you just click deactivate. And if you want to go back to the other screen that we had, you just click display overview, and back here we are back. And you get back and forth we go. Where we stop, only you know. And that's this screen. Take your mouse up to the corner again and go to weapons control. Here we have it. The place where we can really do some damage. Really do some damage. And unfortunately, we got nothing to fire. Oh dearie. Oh dearie, dearie, dearie. I'm going to fix that real quick. Just a wee second. You may have already done this. Who knows? Anyway, but I'm going to charge a phaser bank real quick and load a torpedo. And that's it. Alright, let me switch back. Like I said, it ain't going to be perfect, but this is what we're doing. Tactical launch. There we are. Up we go. And now, you see we're still logged in. So I can go over to weapons control. You see this ship out there floating around? That is a Starfleet insignia. Again, this is not the actual ship. This is just an icon telling you where it is. And this is what we have available for us to shoot at. Our ship is in this Gamma, Delta, Alpha, Beta. These are the quadrants of our weapons coverage that you can see. The front of the ship is this direction. This is the front. This is starboard to the right. This is after to the back, or port to the left. And wherever this object is, it's floating around. You use the weapon systems that correspond to the proper quadrant to shoot things that are in that quadrant. For instance, we've got the Alpha over here. Right now, this thing's in the Alpha thing, but it's floating around. So you're going to have various different phaser banks charged in order to make sure you can always hit it. If I tried to hit this thing using the phaser 1 that I charged that you just saw me, I'm only going to shoot things in the Gamma quadrant. And I'm only going to be able to shoot a torpedo at the things in the Delta quadrant. So you have to know which launcher and which phaser banks. Phaser 2, launcher 1, launcher 2, phaser 8, phaser 9, launcher 5, launcher 6. Believe me, it is not in any sort of intelligible order. You'd think it'd be phaser 1, phaser 2, launcher 1, launcher 2, or something like that. But oh no, oh no. The real world is often much more complicated than what we'd like it to be. And the real world as well. That's just what these had to be when you actually designed a ship. And if you weren't there to design it, you wouldn't understand why. So I won't explain it to you. Now, if we want to fire at things, you simply click on the object and we have targeted it. You know it's targeted because of those tiny wee box arrows that we've got. And then down here, you see it's the USS Monumental. And that's what the ship looks like. That's a top view of that ship. Now, this is a Starfleet ship. I really don't recommend you shoot Starfleet ships usually. Sometimes there's problems that you have to, but this is a very rare occurrence. Don't get used to it. Now, if you don't want to blow up the whole ship, if you don't really care what you're shooting at, that is, you really do want to blow up the whole ship, well, maybe you keep this target thing in general. This means that the weapons will just fire it wherever it can hit on the ship. But if you really want to target focused on something like its engines, you don't want it to move anymore. You can choose to shoot only at its engines. Or perhaps you want to take its power out. There's the reactor, or its shields, or its eyes, the sensors, you know, or its weapons. It's really cutting you up, so you want to take out its weapons, whatever. Or perhaps it's towing you, and you want to take out the tractor beam. You can. Let's target its engines. What the heck? Let's just target the engines, and then we want to fire at it. Now it's in the Alpha quadrant now. Yours might be somewhat different because of this was recorded at a different time, right? Now, if I want to fire, if I really wanted to hit it, I could only use these objects right here. Oh, careful, if I click off when I don't have anything, I can untarget. Anyway, this thing would have to be in the Delta quadrant or the Gamma quadrant for me to hit it, which is actually good. I don't want to hit a Federation ship. So our torpedo is off. You can click the fire button or fire your phasers, and you see that I can click it once and that'll take 10% out, or I can click and drag and charge it all the way down. If you can do short bursts or a long stream, whatever. As long as you have percentage in here, you can still fire phasers. You may be wondering what phasers and torpedoes are. Well, that is another station. Well, I've missed this Federation ship because I was firing in these things, and I'm happy because none of my friends are dead. And I'm also happy because you now know how to use this screen. Let's go off and you've also done tractor beams. We're done. This station is complete. All right, you can stop your tape and raise your hand to tell a staff member that you're done.